All right, everyone, to continue off our gas safety segment, I am honored to chat with one of our proud partners, Matthew Weintraub, brewmaster and plant manager of Cerveceria La Tropical. Their story stems back all the way from 1888 as one of Cuba's oldest breweries, and now that same brand and brews has transcended its growth to the heart of Miami, Florida, in a 28,000 square foot industrial brewery and beer garden. Now, this facility has quickly become recognized as one of the most exciting and high-growth brands in Florida. They have also continued to grow and expand at a rapid pace and have been proud partners of CO2Meter gas safety solutions to ensure gas safety for their workers and customers in the brewery. I'm excited to chat today with Matt and gain more insight on his overall experience with using CO2Meter solutions and his take on CO2 safety in the brewery. Let's dive right in.
All right, everyone, we are live at CO2Meter. This is Morgan Morris, VP of Marketing, and today we are going to continue off our gas safety segment with someone I am very honored to have. He's a very busy person in the industry. I have Matthew Weintraub, brewmaster and also plant manager of Cerveceria La Tropical in Miami, Florida. So for those that do not know, Cerveceria La Tropical is a massive 28,000 square foot brewing facility. It is tucked away in the heart of Miami, Florida, and they are passionately handcrafting some of the best brews in the business. Their story actually dates back to 1888. And we also would not be here, of course, without our partnership with CO2Meter. We're proud partners of Cerveceria La Tropical with Matt. And I'm so honored to have you, Matt. You're such a brewing expert. So thank you so much for giving me some of your time today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. So before we jump in, Matt, could you just give us right off the bat just a little bit more on background of Cerveceria La Tropical and really your role there?
Yeah. So, this project came about maybe 5.5 years ago now. I was reached out to by one of the descendants of the family that owned the land that Cerveceria La Tropical was built on in Cuba. And it was a passion project of his. I'd actually taught him back at FIU in a weekend class. So it was really nice to catch up with him. And he said, hey, I had a great launch, small launch with Sam Adams' company, Concrete Beach in Miami. And Heineken decided to joint venture partner with me to open up Cerveceria La Tropical. And I said, wow, that's amazing. And he went a little bit over kind of what they were going to do. And I was really blown away. So when they asked me to join the team here, I was completely honored to be able to bring back a piece of history that was nationalized by the Cuban government and, kind of taken away from the people that built it. And they never really had any ability to take it back. So I was honored to be able to bring back a piece of somebody's family's history and really an island's history and bring it back to life. And, I think that it's really just an amazing story. So we built this facility out about 5.5 years ago, finally launched about 3 years ago, and a total renovation. And you can see the brew house behind me. So It's really, really a cool ambiance here, really taproom centric, but also very good distribution footprint as well. And we normally have between 12 and 18 beers made on site per year. And we distribute about 4 of those beers annually. So a little bit about the kind of the history and how all this facility came about.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. And they must trust you, obviously, to the utmost. I was just going to say I did my research too, and I have yet to see the actual facility. I can't wait to come down there. But you guys have just, I feel like, grown over the span of a few years. I've seen you in the Miami Times, Forbes, the Herald. I mean, you guys are everywhere. And I think that obviously is a testament to your work. So.
Yeah, no, the past 2 years, year 1 to 2, 80% growth year on year. And this year, through distribution channels, we're projecting just over 200% growth. So just a really great thing. And both Manny and our joint venture partner, Heineken, have entrusted us in a lot of ability to innovate. And that's just been an amazing piece. So it's not just strictly brewing, but we also get the innovation brewing part as well. So it keeps us all excited here.
Oh, I bet. Much more to come, I'm sure. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, and so my role here is plant manager. So my job is to oversee all operations. So I oversee functions from procurement all the way through production, and then out to distributor sales. So it's a large chunk of the business,
Yeah.
but no, I have a great team here, and it's been a great pleasure to be able to get the brew to where it is, and the projection that's going forward, and the team that we're building up now is just really happy and exciting for me.
No, it's incredible. Thank you so much for giving us just a little bit of insight. I think that's amazing. And I know obviously this industry, we'll switch gears a little bit, would not be where it is without gas. That's why we're here today. Obviously, in brewing, CO2 is a vital, if not one of the most vital gases in the process of brew making. So when it comes to the gas, obviously there's hazards at hand. What do you feel is the most important just in terms of gas safety, not only for the employees, but for customers in the facility? What would you say?
Yeah, I think it's just really understanding. So really giving the education to our employees, but also like you said, this space. As you can see, I'm sitting in the tap room now, and the brewery is behind some glass, really. So there is an interaction where the CO2 coming from fermentation or just being used in process could potentially interact with customers. I think the key is really just understanding what the dangers are and mitigating those risks. On site, what we're doing is some education. We have CO2 meters as well. We have about 13 around the whole facility, both inside and outside, with light strobe towers provided by CO2Meter that really give the ability for us to understand where the levels are currently and if there are any dangerous spots that we need to watch out for. And thanks to you guys, we were able to get 2 tablets that show us that visually as well in the operators area. It's been great to work with you guys on this because our project was a little bit different than some others, where we wanted to use low voltage, and we had some customization. And we also customized a heat extractor with some downpipes to be able to extract the CO2 from the building when it achieves certain limits. And I think it's just definitely made our whole environment here a lot safer.
Oh, thank you for that. I know I was going to jump into the technologies, but you beat me to it. So we appreciate it so much. I know obviously you have those gas detection solutions in place. It's extremely important. You're safeguarding your employees as well as the customers should anything ever go wrong. When it comes to the technologies, I know you mentioned the strobes, you have the audible visual before they go into a potential hazardous location. Is there any main features? Obviously, there's other partners out there that do the same. When you're looking for a gas detection monitor, what are some of the core features you look for?
Yeah, and I had used a couple different solutions in the past, and I think that the thing that drove me to CO2Meter is the solution as we tested off of other solutions that we have, maybe a handheld. They're reading very accurate, and over the time, they've been able to deal in some harsh conditions. So also in our keg cooler where there's humidity, where there's liquid flying around, we haven't had issues with them going down. So I have some assurances that they're going to be up and active. Also, the ability for you guys to customize it to how we really need to see it has been honestly the biggest thing for me, is that you guys are not just offering a solution that is just out of a box and you're not going to change it, but you've been able to help us modify for what we need here. And I think that that's the biggest thing for me in a solution, is to offer the technology that is required by every site. I know initially when Josh had come down, he had shown like just a strobe, and I said, no, we really need the light strobe towers with four different lighting arrangements, and he was able to get that all set up with the low voltage. And that really is important, because not only knowing what level, if there is a level of CO2 that's been breached, but what level we're at has definitely made the facility a lot safer. And we've been able to teach the staff, if they see a certain if the strobe tower is showing in a certain way, you're at this level, and this is what you can expect on the parts per million. So, it's really important. And also you guys have the handhelds as well, the double validation. So that's really nice.
Yes. So using the fixed and the portable. And I know, just so
Correct.
I can mention it, that you all are using our system. So you're using the multi-gas safety systems, the tablet, and the individual sensor outside of each location. And your facility is very large. You have a lot of different areas. Could you talk about just some of those areas? I know we can obviously see the tap room in terms of just keg coolers, fermentation tanks. Where have you placed some of those monitors?
Oh, so the monitors, we place a monitor at each entrance to the brewing facility. So the main entrance is behind me through the glass where people will take a tour. Also, the kitchen has to go through the brewery to get to access our loading dock. So we place it there. We place it in all the keg coolers, whether they have CO2 lines running through them or not. We do have them just in case. We also have them in all the cellar areas. The cellar areas are very important, and those were customized so that when fermentations are occurring and there might be an overflow of CO2 gas, that we can trigger our train system heat extractor to change our louvers to extract actually from the ground to get the CO2 out. Once the limit is below a certain limit, then it triggers the louver to close again, opening the heat extractor. So that area has definitely been important. Also, the canning line. Our canning line is not counter pressure. So we do have CO2 purging of the cans. And throughout the day, if we're running 10 to 12 hours per day, throughout the day, we are getting a significant amount of CO2 building up in that area. So this just allows us to really understand how it's flowing, if the HVAC system is moving air properly around the facility. So it has been able to offer that. Also, we have your CO2 meter in our boiler room, which is definitely important. And that also triggers the boiler shutdown. So, those are kind of some of the areas. Also, our bulk tank in the CO2 is in the garden. So it's right around customer facing. So we just want to make sure that if anything were to happen there or any leak is to occur, that, it's triggering us to let us know that we have to do something about it.
No, absolutely. Thank you for giving us just some of that insight. I wanted to touch base on it just because I know your facility has a lot of different areas where you're using CO2. Obviously, like we mentioned, it's vital. So it's great to see that you trust CO2Meter. We really appreciate your partnership and that you have those safeguards in place in all of the different areas. So,
correct. And it gives us some peace of mind, especially because this is considered like a showpiece brewery. So there's a lot of tours constantly going through the brewery. It gives some peace of mind that we know what's going on in our facility and we know the risk and where there may be a risk or not a risk at that time. So,
absolutely. Good. All right, so I do want to switch gears just a little bit, Matt. I know you gave me such valuable insight on CO2, how you're using it, why you stand by our solutions, the safeguards in place. But I want to talk just a little bit about you because you are more than just a plant operator. You are a force to be reckoned with. I see you across so many different associations, just preaching on safety. You're such a safety advocate and largely recognized. So what is going on in your world? Could you tell me just in terms of some other projects you might be working on professionally, if you can disclose any of those or even your own development in the industry? Anything exciting?
Yeah, so last year I completed the Master Brewer certification for Heineken, so becoming a Heineken Master Brewer. So that was a huge project for me last year. And this year I'm working with the Master Brewers Association of the Americas on a couple of projects, one including CO2, which I'm also involved with the ISPT on.
Oh, great.
So we're doing some monitoring and filtration for craft breweries on CO2. Trying to see what levels we can get to, and also working on thiols. So passion fruit, this aroma was kind of recognized in '91 what it could be, and there's a lot of work on GMO yeast. And so our facility right now is doing a lot of work to understand how thiols are, how yeast is basically creating these thiols through fermentation. These genetically modified, right? Also, what levels they get to, and also what processes like filtration or pasteurization affect them and in what ways. So we're really looking to understand, how we can create it and what potentially may reduce the levels of them to give us those tropical flavors in our IPA that everybody's looking for nowadays.
That is fascinating. Too many projects. I can't keep up. I don't know how you do it. I really don't. which is why I really appreciate your time today. But that is incredible.
No worries.
You're plugged into so many different avenues. So
Yeah.
I'm sure if they're not watching this, they probably will see you also on the road and at some of these different events. Do you have any events planned in the upcoming future where someone could see you potentially?
In the upcoming future, I'll be at the NBA in Tampa actually, and I have a plan to go to Amsterdam in July. We'll be presenting on some things for Heineken, and right now, really just staying local. F1, as Heineken's a huge partner, we're also building a pub in F1 for the race.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
that's really been taking a lot of our time. And we also, I can't disclose the project, but we also have some interesting deviation from the beer side for La Tropical. They'll be coming in Q3 to 4 of this year. That's been really an interesting project to work on. I've been involved with it for over a year now, and I'm glad to see that it's got all the approvals it needs, and we're just waiting for some equipment to come from Germany, our partners in Rolec, to send us the equipment so we can get this project going and get some interesting drinks out to our consumers.
Oh, super exciting. Innovation does not stop for Cerveceria La Tropical and for you. So I'll keep my eyes open. So everyone watching this will have to stay tuned to see some of those ventures. But I think last but not least, Matt, where can people find more information on Cerveceria La Tropical or even connect with you specifically if they were interested after this?
Yeah, so La Tropical, we really have a good social media presence. So we're on platforms Instagram and Facebook. And then also, if you want to connect with me myself, I'm pretty active in my LinkedIn profile. It's just Matthew and Weintraub, and you can get me in contact there.
Excellent. Well, there you have it. Thank you so much again, the brewmaster and guru himself. I really appreciate your time again, especially for highlighting gas safety. It's such a vital topic in our industry, and I really appreciate you giving us some of the insight to just your day-to-day operations, how you guys are using CO2 and how you're using our solutions to safeguard your facility. So I appreciate it so much, Matt. Thank you.
No problem. Anytime.
All right. Well, I look forward to making my way out to the facility. I will be sure to link all of your information in this gas safety segment for others to see as well. And be sure to venture and keep an eye out for all the things with Cerveceria La Tropical. Thanks.